And gold is always the surest way of, getting FX to support one's economy. And yet, we're always struggling with our reserves. We always had to resort to the Eurobond markets to borrow to shore up our FX reserves. So what we realized was that hitherto, individuals were allowed to apply for licenses to buy, sell, and export gold. Now, this space was not limited to only Ghanaian participation. Foreigners could also engage in the trading and export of gold. And because foreigners had a bigger financial muscle, they dominated the space. So 70% of the gold export space used to be dominated by Indians. And what we saw was that, yes, Bank of Ghana, under their FX laws, required that anytime you exported anything, including gold, within 30 days, 80% for gold, 80% of the forex had to be repatriated back. But these entities were not, complying with this rule. So they will export, and then it takes forever before the FX comes in. It is a national shame that as a long-standing continental leader in gold production, Ghana continues to export Dory, that is raw gold, instead of bullion. The Ghana Gold Board, which I lead, is determined to change this narrative as a matter of urgency.
Look, something powerful is happening in Ghana's gold sector, and it's changing the game. New figures shows that between January and mid-October 2025, small-scale gold exports hit an incredible $8 billion. That's not just a typo, that's a 264% surge in just 2 years. But this isn't just about global price hikes. Ghanaian miners exported a record of 81,000 kilograms of gold, the highest ever in the nation's history. For the first time in decades, Ghana is earning big from its own gold without relying on foreign aid or US dollar loans. So, what changed? Well, Ghana took control. The Ghana Gold Board now supervises everything from gold buying and testing to export licensing. Working closely with the precious minerals marketing company, they've cracked down on smuggling, cleaned up the trade, and ensured that export earnings actually flow back into Ghana's economy.
So what we realized was that hitherto, individuals were allowed to apply for licenses to buy, sell, and export gold. Now, this space was not limited to only Ghanaian participation. Foreigners could also engage in the trading and export of gold. And because foreigners had a bigger financial muscle, they dominated the space. So 70% of the gold export space used to be dominated by Indians. And what we saw was that, yes, Bank of Ghana, under their FX laws, required that anytime you exported anything, including gold, within 30 days, 80% for gold, 80% of the forex had to be repatriated back. But these entities were not, complying with this rule. So they will export, and then it takes forever before the FX comes in. So what you were even reading as gold exports for Ghana was not necessarily translating into FX inflows, because in most cases the FX was not coming. And then we also saw that most of these entities, not all, but most of them, were only using their licenses as a ruse to buy and smuggle gold. Because once they had a license, you could not question them for buying gold. But nobody was checking whether what they were declaring and exporting was actually what they were buying. So the small-scale gold sector, particularly, had been totally underestimated in our books in Ghana. When you went to India and Dubai, you saw huge figures in terms of volumes and values of gold from small scale in Ghana that had been exported to their country. But in Ghana, you saw so little because there was no agency tracking all these things. So the president said the first thing you need to do is to change the legal regime. And that is what led to the passage of the Ghana Gold Board Act in record time.
And the results is explosive. In May alone, Ghana shipped over $1.17 billion worth of gold. And this is the strongest month on record. Globally, gold prices have surged past 4,300 per ounce, which is a historic high. While other nations scramble for US dollars, Ghana's reserves are backed by something much more solid, which is rare gold. The Bank of Ghana's international reserves have also jumped nearly tenfold, reaching $11 billion, comfortably above IMF's target. That surge has strengthened the cedi by more than 15% this year, a rare win in West Africa's currency scene. And Ghana isn't stopping there. A new gold refinery and fire assay plant is launching this very month. That means Ghana will soon refine its own bullion, keeping more value at home and reducing reliance on dollar-based trade.
It is a national shame that as a long-standing continental leader in gold production, Ghana continues to export dory, that is raw gold, instead of bullion. The Ghana Gold Board, which I lead, is determined to change this narrative as a matter of urgency. As part of the research agenda of President Mahama, the Gold Board, in conjunction with the Bank of Ghana, is partnering local refineries such as the Gold Coast Refinery to begin the local refining of gold purchased and exported by the Gold Board. And this will begin next month, October 2025. Let me at this stage commend the Chamber of Mines for expressing their willingness to work with us to ensure the local refining of gold produced by large-scale mining firms in the country. The Gold Board will continue to drive innovation. And in this regard, ladies and gentlemen, we have secured a parcel of land at the cargo village at the Kotoka International Airport to build an ultramodern ISO-certified assay laboratory with the aim of changing Ghana's assay regime from SRF and water density to the golden standard of assay, fire assay, for all gold, both small scale and large scale, produced in or exported from Ghana. I am happy to inform you that on that same parcel of land secured by the Gold Board, we will be building a wholly state-owned and international standard gold refinery to further advance the local refining of gold, transitioning Ghana from the export of dory to bullion. Plans are also underway, ladies and gentlemen, to develop strategic partnerships to establish a gold village in the nature of the gold souk of Dubai in Ghana, envisaged as a continental hub for gold jewelry and ornament production.
So, in simple terms, Ghana is moving from selling gold to controlling gold. After years of economic strain, Ghana's gold share is rewriting the rules. Reserves are stronger, the cedi is stable, and the country is earning in gold, not begging for dollars. This is more than recovery. It is a shift in power from dependency to dominance. But here is the rare thought. If small-scale miners alone can generate $8 billion in export in just 10 months, imagine how much Ghana have lost over the years to multinational mining companies taking our gold abroad. The numbers tell the story. Ghana's true wealth has always been here in the ground. And now, the nation is finally learning how to keep it. So, could this be the moment Ghana finally breaks free from dollar dependency? Tell us what you think in the comment section below. And that is all for today's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful videos. My name is Sheriff Haruna, and this is AS1 Report. Have a joyful life and see you in the next one. Macrao.